Alright, gonna do a quick video here. Just want to bang this one out of the way. Try to do it on one take. Had a friend of mine ask me, you know, is there a big difference between how a pump action shotgun and a semi-automatic shotgun works? And there is actually a huge difference. On the left here is a Remington 870. On the right is a Beretta 1301. The Remington 870 acts just like the Mossberg 500, right? It's a pump shotgun. The Beretta has 1301. They also have an A300, very similar, semi-auto shotgun, and very much like the Benelli M4. Great shotguns. Pretty much, you don't have any kind of issues with these. So to show you just real quick, the pump action, pretty much everybody's familiar with these. And by the way, if you are looking to purchase, or you do have shotguns, buy these snap caps so you can practice and get very proficient with your shotgun. As you'll see with the semi-auto, it's probably one of the more complicated defense weapons you can own. All right, so we got 3 rounds in the pump, real simple. That gets the round ready. Put it on fire. Here to click, that would fire it. I would rack to the next round. Click, that would fire. Now I rack to that last round. Click and fire. Just like you see on TV. You could also drop a round in there. Get that loaded up. Fire. All right, pretty straightforward. I think everybody's kind of familiar with this format. Now, what if you want to unload a pump shotgun? When you rack this back, the only way you can rack it back again and pop that shell is you have to pull the trigger. So let's put this on safe. You know, now I'm going to push this button here, and that allows me to rack it back and pop those shells out. So now I'm going to inspect it. I'm going to look. Nothing in the magazine. Nothing in the chamber. Now my shotgun's safe. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's what you would expect. A lot different than a semi-automatic shotgun. So let me show you how these work. The battery of arms on this. Do the same thing. We'll load with 3 rounds. All right. So there's 3 rounds in there, but unlike a Phoenix police officer in a video you can find on YouTube, you can't just rack this back and have it load. If you do that, nothing happens. There's no shells on that ramp. Right? So you have to do one of 2 things. You can either pull the trigger and it'll load a shell into the ramp, or press this button here on the ramp. That loads a shell into the ramp, getting ready to be chambered. So now when I rack it back, see that shell there? It's in there. So then when I fire, it'll drop another round into the ramp. After I fired that, it automatically ejects that shell, puts the next shell in there. I fire that. The next shell's in there. I fire that. And then it's going to be empty. And when it goes empty, this stays open. I could drop another shell in there, hit the forward button, take my last shot. So that's how a semi-auto works, right? Now it's a lot different though if you want to unload this. And there's 2 ways to do it. I'll show you the way I don't like, and I'll show you the way that I kind of just do it. Probably this is the official way, I'm guessing they would say, is you hold the ramp down, put your finger on the shell. Now this button, when you push it in, it pushes the action forward. So what you do is you pick it up or you pull it out. That releases the shell, and you take the shells out one at a time. Problem I have with this, if you're not paying attention and your finger's back a little far and you go to pull this up, that slams right into your finger and it does hurt. Or if you're kind of like not paying that close attention, you do it, sometimes we'll send out 2 shells and then they get stuck. So I guess you could say that's a safer way of doing it because nothing's ever going into the chamber, unlike the pump. But because I like my fingers, what I do is, see, nothing's in there because I didn't drop anything into the ramp. I'll press the button under here. It drops it into the ramp. It's going to chamber, and I just cycle. Drop the next one, and I cycle. I drop the next one, and I cycle. So it's a little different. So it stays back there. Now, when you have this set up, you have to be careful, because a Phoenix police officer, what he had was he had his gun ready. He didn't have a shell in the ramp and he didn't have a shell in the chamber. And what happened, guy with the knife comes at him, he jumps out of his cruiser, racks that, thinking it just put a shell in there, but as you can see, it doesn't. And then when the guy ran at him, he pulled the trigger. Nothing happened. It dropped a shell in here, but there was nothing in there. His partner ended up shooting the guy because he had a knife running at him. But what he needed to do again was crack it one more time, and it would have loaded a shell into the chamber. You could tell in the video the cop got a little confused when he first pulled the trigger and nothing happened. So the important lesson there is learn the battery of arms with this, learn how it works, get some dummy caps, and practice with it. Now I'll show you, even though there's one in the chamber, I didn't pull the trigger. So as you can see, it's not chambering another round because I didn't pull the trigger and I didn't push the button under it. So if I'm going to put this next to me or next to my bed at night, I don't like to sleep, or I don't like shotguns having one in the chamber, because unlike pistols, I'm just kind of weird about it. I don't think they have the safeties that pistols have to not accidentally fire if you drop it. But what I would do is I would just go ahead and pull the trigger, even though it's empty, or even though there's nothing in the action. Now we'll get a round ready in here to use. So that didn't fire anything, but it does put the round in the ramp. So if something were to happen, all I would have to do is pull this back. It puts a shell in there and it's ready to rock. If I want to empty it, I don't pull the trigger, I don't push that button. I just go ahead and rack it back. And then this is one way to do it here. Oh, see, that's what I mean. So just put one in the chamber. So I'm not particularly a big fan of that. Also, this is very, very powerful. I had accidentally got a 3-inch in there, 3-inch shell, which didn't fit. And I pulled this back and I was working on it, trying to get out, and it went forward on my finger. That was extremely painful. It was out when I was in the desert shooting. I do keep first aid kits on me, so I was able to wrap my finger up, but it did kind of, something in there went through my finger, crushed my finger. I'm all better now, but it was a nice little lesson to learn not to stick your finger in there. I'm learning the shotgun, this particular type of battery, and if you get one of these, I would highly suggest do some practicing with it, get some snap caps, understand how it works, and other than that, either go have fun shooting and target shooting, or get it set up to keep you and yourself and your family safe. Thanks for watching. Cheers.